The Independent Eye was this incredible counterculture magazine that came out of Cincinnati, or newspaper. First issue was February of 1968, and they had issues up through 1975. Originally it was a newspaper focused on the Vietnam War and being opposed to the war, but then they began to advertise musical events, art happenings. More and more people were writing for the paper. And as the paper progressed through time, they expanded beyond the Vietnam War to focusing on other cultural, social issues that we even hear about today. Earlier days of the Women's Liberation Front, as they called it at the time, the Gay Manifesto, the Black Liberation Movement, and the Black Panthers are talked about quite a bit. So it covers a wide range. And then musical events. That was my first attraction to this, is just the different acts that were playing in town at the time. Many names that are iconic in the world of rock and roll music. The Stooges, the Kinks, Allman Brothers, and so on and so forth. And I think they wanted their voice to be heard beyond just meeting in coffee houses and clubs. So they thought, well, what better way to do that than to create our own paper and create our own scene, if you will. And they, to their credit, I'll give them a lot of it, because they got the word out. And the paper lasted as long as it did, which I didn't realize it lasted into the mid-70s, but the fact that it did, it pays kudos to their flexibility. Very cool paper. It went from being very small to quite the broadsheet. And like I said, they lasted about 7 years. I invite you to join us on Wednesday, November 13th at 7 p.m. in the main library in the Reading Garden Lounge on the first floor for our panel discussion talking about the history of the Independent Eye.